within traditional non-believing Judaism today, non-believing in Yeshua, that is, the standard Hillel calendar starts counting after the 15th of Nisan, which is a Shabbat. So that's when we start counting the Omer. That's the view that we take, which is the pharisaic view. I think Yeshua took this view as well because it was the majority view. And we see Yeshua in the temple doing what he needs to do according to when the majority of people were there. He wasn't there by himself going, these people aren't celebrating on the right day.
Yeah, there's no dispute.
Yeah, exactly. So I take Yeshua, I try to follow what Yeshua did. I think that he took the majority rule on calendar issues. That being the case, I start counting after the 15th. However, what I tried to do with the sound clips is I was trying to give all three possible views. Start counting on the 15th of Nisan, start counting on the weekly Sabbath somewhere in between the Passover, or start counting on the last day of the Festival of Unleavened Bread, after the last day of the Festival of Unleavened Bread. So, interject here, Rob. Why do you think that we should take why do you start counting on the 15th of Nisan?
Because I think that's the way Yeshua endorsed. And I think that when we have Shavuot in Acts chapter 2, I think that was also according to the Pharisaic reckoning. And that's when the Ruach HaKodesh is given. We have Pharisees that become believers at that point. I don't think we have any record of Sadducees becoming believers.
The reason
in the book of Acts. I'm just looking at this kind of, you might think, well, that's circumstantial. Well, yeah, but it's like, the Pharisees are believing in Acts. It says a number of even priests believe. Okay, if you got Pharisees and priests that hearts are united in Messiah, and then Luke is telling us a story, and he's telling us it was Shavuot and the Ruach HaKodesh was given, I'm going to say it was a Pharisaic counting. There's no Sadducees there.
The reason I think that that we start counting after the 15th of Nisan is because of this verse, Leviticus 23:15. Now I take that when he says, it switches here. There shall be 7 complete Sabbaths. So I take this to mean weeks, because what is an incomplete Sabbath? So the only reason that he'd even have to tell you that it has to be 7 complete weeks or 7 complete Sabbaths is because, obviously, if you start counting after the weekly Sabbath, then it's obvious that it would be 7 complete. It would be 7 Sabbaths, right? Because that's how many 50 would be. So why does he have to specify? And then he says, you shall count 50 days to the day after the 7th Sabbath. Once again, I take this as weeks. Because why? Of course, 50 days would be after the 7th Sabbath, right? So I think that the reason that he's specifying there shall be 7 complete Sabbaths, what that means is that there shall be 7 complete weeks. And the only reason he'd have to tell you that is if it wasn't on a weekly Shabbat. If it was on a weekly Shabbat, then obviously there's going to be 7 Sabbaths. There's no problem. Why would you, why is he specifying, and what in the world does complete Sabbaths mean? If it wasn't complete Sabbaths, if it wasn't complete weeks, okay, do you understand? Am I making any sense here? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think we're on the same page.
We are on the same page. I guess what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make people understand who are listening where I'm coming from. That this idea that there's 50 or that there's 7 complete Sabbaths, the only reason that he'd have to say complete Sabbaths is if it was talking about weeks. And it would only make sense if the counting was not necessarily on a weekly Shabbat. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, and Deuteronomy 16 uses the word Shavuot, 7s, weeks, instead of Shabbatot. So the Deuteronomy parallel uses the words weeks. So we know that it's weeks. We know that it's talking about cycles of 7 sevens.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah. And Walta in our in our chat room, nice name, Walter, quotes Josephus Antiquities, who explains that the counting starts according to what the Pharisee calendar is. So we have sources from the first century that help us to see clearly where Yeshua and the apostles would have situated themselves. And we do well to situate ourselves in the same.